Nice
Gene.
to meet you. Yep.
Great to meet you, Gene. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to meet with me. Thank you so much.
No problem.
I met with your colleague Bob last week, and we had a really productive discussion, so he thought it would be valuable for me to come in and speak to you today, so I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
How has the adjustment been? I understand you have a new CEO. How's that been going for you?
It's been going okay. We got a lot on our plate.
Yeah? What's going on? What's keeping you so busy?
He came and said he wants to lower our investment. We have to reduce costs, as well as Bob is leaving in the next couple weeks, so I'm taking on his responsibilities.
Okay, gotcha. That is a lot of change going on. I know you've been with the company, though, for about 10 years, so I'm sure that if anyone can handle it, it's definitely you.
Appreciate it.
Just to make sure that I'm cognizant of our time, I know we scheduled 20 minutes. Is that still good with you?
Yeah, that works.
Okay, perfect. And in talking with Bob, it sounded like you're really going to be that final decision maker. Is there anyone else who would need to be involved?
No, I think just me.
Okay. What does your decision-making process look like?
If it's something that I feel would add value to the organization and we can afford it, then I just sign.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you for catching me up on that. I appreciate it. Just to give you a little bit of a frame of reference, my purpose for coming in today really is to make sure that the goals and the needs that I uncovered from Bob are in fact accurate and that you agree with them. And I also want to learn a little bit more about your specific role, things that you personally want to achieve, and then determine if today is the best time to start a partnership between Gartner and Faith and Mercy.
Okay.
How does that sound to you?
Sounds fine.
Is there anything you'd like to add or change to that agenda?
That works.
Okay. Would it be beneficial for you if I give you a high-level overview of what Gartner's all about?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Okay, so we're the world's largest IT research and advisory firm, which for Eugene means that we're working with more technology leaders like yourself to provide you with those research and insights to help you make strategic decisions. Our three main things are help you to save time, save money, which it sounds like William will like, and also mitigate risk. Does that help to give you a frame of reference?
Yeah.
Perfect. So I'd love to turn this around now and learn a little bit more about you. So I was able to uncover quite a bit of information from Bob, but he wasn't sure on what your overarching corporate objective would be. Could you share with me that main objective for 2018?
Yeah, not surprising. Bob doesn't know, but ultimately we have to reduce costs.
Okay. Would you be able to quantify the cost savings?
Yeah, by 10%.
Okay. And then what are you specifically tasked with in regards to contributing to that 10% cost decrease?
Yeah, I mean, simply put, everyone has to reduce costs by 10%, including me.
Okay, so you also, within the technology department, you need to be cutting costs by 10%.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you looking to do this?
Well, that's the difficult part, is that I have one very important investment that I have to make, but I've got to look through what we're spending now and ask people to do more with less. Okay.
Regarding that one specific investment, I understand that your EMR system is going to potentially be revised. You're having some issues with that. Is that what you're alluding to? Okay, so I know you've had that system around for about 6 years. You're having some trouble. You're losing some physicians.
Mm-hmm.
What is your solution to this problem? What are you looking to do?
Yeah, I mean, I have to make it better. I don't really care if I stick with the current vendor and make them improve at less money, or if I go to a different vendor, but I have to find a way to make the doctors happy.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what it all comes down to. Obviously, in the healthcare field, you want to make sure that your doctors are happy, so that way your customer satisfaction scores are good as well.
Yeah.
Have you seen those taken a hit recently?
Yeah, they're not where we want them to be. We want to improve them.
Okay, and what does that mean for you and your company when your customer satisfaction is down?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, if we have bad customer satisfaction, they'll put bad ratings for us, and eventually people will drive past our hospital and go to other places to make it so that...
Yeah, absolutely. And that's certainly not something we want. I mean, you've been here for 10 years. I want you to be able to be here 10 more if that's what you want. I want your company to be successful. So while you're trying to revisit if you're going to renew that vendor and adjust it a bit or sign on a new one, what is your process looking like? Are you researching different things? Or are you using word of mouth?
I think both. I'm researching, I'm going to events, I'm talking to peers. There's lots of information out there.
Okay. If you could culminate all the hours that you're spending trying to determine where to go for this system in a number of hours per week, what do you think that would be?
I haven't thought about that.
Okay.
I I hadn't been looking up the electronic medical records in the past. That was always Bob's responsibility.
Okay,
so
it's
now
falling onto you now.
Yeah, now I'm going to this conference tomorrow. That'll be 2 to 3 days, and I go to one of those a quarter or so. And then I don't know. I do a couple hours of research every once in a while.
Okay. If you didn't have to take over all this time and all this commitment, what could you be doing with that time to better utilize it?
I mean, it depends what I'm classifying that research on, but right now I need to spend time reducing costs. So if I could not research that and I could research reducing costs, then that's probably what I would do.
In terms of reducing cost, is it only you who's going through your budget and trying to find line by line, or do you have a team that's working with you?
I mean, everyone on my staff understands that this is the priority, so they're seeing where they can put a couple pennies away in different places as well, but the buck stops with me.
Definitely. If you could quantify how much time you're spending potentially going through your budgets, where would that fall in?
I mean, it's my number one priority, so definitely a significant amount of time each week.
Do you feel like the method that you're currently going through your budget is the most effective method out there?
It's the method I know. There may be more effective, but I'm not familiar.
You don't know
with
what you don't know, right?
Yeah.
Completely understand. Just to make sure that I'm understanding everything correctly so far, it sounds like the company's overall goal of reducing costs by 10% is going to fall heavily on you. So that's really your primary initiative right now, is determining where in the budget you can cut those costs down. So you're spending a lot of time going through your budget. Mm-hmm. On the second hand, your EMR system is definitely taking a hit and affecting your customer satisfaction rating and your profitability as a company. So looking at new vendors to improve that is a secondary concern. Mm-hmm. Is that a fair summarization?
Yeah, and I just want to be upfront about something. I know you're asking me about a lot of stuff, and I assume that Gartner may or may not be able to help me with this stuff, but one thing I'm pretty sure of is it's going to cost me money, that this isn't free, and like I told you, I'm being tasked to cut money.
Yes.
I feel like I'd have a really hard time spending money when I'm not being asked to cut, so I just don't want to waste any more of your time if this is something that's going to cost me any significant amount of money.
Well, I appreciate your transparency. Yes, everything does come with a price tag. However, Gartner is an investment, so I would like for you to think of us as premium oil for your car. So your company is your brand new sports car. Sure, premium fuel is going to cost a little bit more. It's going to allow your car to run faster, to be more effective longer, to break down less frequently. So the smaller investment now is going to allow for more long-term success, and that's the same way that you want to invest in your company. I'd be happy to get into investment a little bit later, but I would love the opportunity to show you the value we could provide first. Is that all right if I proceed?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. In terms of the goals that we did talk about, did I miss anything aside from cutting those costs and revisiting the EMR?
No, that's what's important to me.
Okay, perfect. So what would it mean for you as a company as a whole if you weren't able to get those costs down by 10%?
I think that's a non-negotiable. It's going to happen.
Okay, one way or the other it needs to happen. And when does that first stride need to be done by? When do you need to have your new ERM system figured out, and when do you need to be making significant cost decreases?
Yeah, by the end of the year.
By the end of the year. Do you have a first step?
I think I probably need to take some first steps on figuring out which vendor, if it's going to be my current or not, and then I got to figure out where I'm going to cut, but yeah.
Okay, something that we could revisit down the road, but as soon as possible, making the adjustments.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I'd love the opportunity to display for you our product. It's called Gartner for CIOs. It's a multifaceted tool that assists in 3 primary ways. However, based on our discussion so far, I really want to dive into one most heavily, which is our cost optimization.
Okay.
How does that sound to you?
Sounds fine.
Perfect. So our cost optimization tool helps in a plethora of ways. First and foremost, it's going to compare your budget to the industry average. So we're actually going to be able to benchmark what you're spending on technology to your competitors, similar industry, similar size firms. This is going to give you a frame of mind of, is a 10% cost decrease actually what's going to be most beneficial for my company as a whole? What do you think this knowledge would do for you?
It'd be helpful. I don't know what I'm spending compared to the industry now.
Absolutely. I know you said your CEO is big on cutting costs. He's been extremely successful in past companies, but this might help. Maybe you're actually already underspending and investing more would help you to be more profitable.
Yeah.
It'll just give you that frame of reference so you know you're making the right choices.
That'd be interesting.
Great.
Yeah.
And then
I hadn't thought of that.
if we dive a little deeper, so I know you said your main thing is figuring out where you're going to cut these costs, because that is a huge priority. It's being pushed on you. So this internal tool, how it will work is I'll actually send you a survey. You'll fill it out. It'll take roughly 20 to 40 minutes. You can put in your information, you or one of your team members, whoever you trust most, to fill it out. Send it back over to our team of analysts. They'll actually review it and generate a 27-page report. So this report, Jean, is going to show you exactly where in your budget you need to be decreasing or increasing costs. It's going to break down line by line exactly where you're overspending and underspending. So you can see maybe you are underspending in EMR and that's why it's being ineffective. Maybe you're overspending on your software. It'll actually break this down for you, so that way, right now, your main priority, the majority of your time is determining where to cut costs. We'd be able to alleviate all those hours and condense it down to 30 minutes of you filling out a survey.
It's interesting.
What do you think you could do with the rest of that time that would be handed back to you?
Probably go to the opera more.
Yeah, is that something that you enjoy?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. It's really important to have that work-life balance. I know right now you're stepping into Bob's role as well, so you have lots of things going on. I want to help you so that you're not here in the office all night long, and you can still make those significant first steps, so that way your new CEO is impressed in what Jean can bring to the table.
Okay.
Then I'm going to even dive one step deeper. So we're talking a lot about EMR. Obviously, that's something that's important to your company as a whole. If you do decide to renegotiate that contract or even bring on a new vendor altogether, we can review that contract for you. So how it works is that you'll send us the contract in what you feel is the best negotiated state, and our team of analysts are able to review it, and 3 out of every 4 contracts that we review, we find between 15 to 20% cost savings. So I know an EMR system, I typically find that they are roughly a $2 million contract. Would you say that's a fair summary?
Yeah, I think probably around there.
Okay. So let's say $2 million conservatively. I know they can be more expensive. I said 15 to 20% cost savings. However, Jean, I really believe in under-promising and over-delivering. So I'm going to say really pessimistically that we're conservatively only going to save you 10%. This is unrealistic, but possible. So 10% of a $2 million contract is still $200,000 in hard dollar cost savings back in your pocket. How do you think William would feel about $200,000 of hard cost savings?
Yeah, I mean,
off of one contract.
I think he'd be happy with it, but say, where's the other 1.7 million that I need to cut?
Right.
He's a no-nonsense kind of guy.
Completely understand. So that's where this original part falls in. So this is where we're actually showing you the other areas you can cut costs.
Yeah.
So that $200,000, that's a great first step. We talked about having a first step. That's a great dig into that budget you want to cut. Then this is going to show you exactly where you need to do it, and now you have all this extra time, since our analysts were able to compile this report for you, that you can put forth actually generating these cost savings and putting those call to actions actually in action.
Yep.
Is this a product that you could see yourself utilizing?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it could be helpful, some of these things. I know the benchmarking is something I hadn't thought about in the past, so it's certainly interesting.
Terrific. I'm glad to hear that. So I know you did mention investment before, so I want to make sure that I get there for you. So this is what the investment's going to look like. Now I do say investment and not price, because we're looking for a 3-year commitment. We want this to be a partnership. I want to grow with you. I want to see Faith and Mercy Healthcare thrive and you to thrive in this role. So it's only going to be roughly $50,000 per year for you. And if you decide to bring on additional licenses, so whoever fills Bob's role next, a few team leads, that's going to be a subsidized cost that you see here. So looking at these numbers, I just want to remind you one more time that $50,000 compared to, at minimum, $200K saved on a single contract, it's a pretty insignificant investment for the amount of cost savings you're able to generate.
Okay. Does it have to be a 3-year commitment?
It does. So we're looking to grow with you. I don't want you to just be ready to fix that one hurdle and hit your 10% growth goal this year. I want to see you be successful every single year.
Yeah, but if we do all these things and you bring me down all my contracts to the low numbers, then the next year I imagine we won't be. We can only do that so many times.
So I hear your concern. However, most contracts you're going to be renewing or revisiting almost every year. So this is something that's going to continuously come into play. Your budget will adjust every single year. The industry averages will change every year. You don't just want to get to a okay level and maintain. You want to continuously grow, do you not?
Yeah.
So we want to help you do that. We want to help you be successful long term and not just jump over one single hurdle. Does that clarify your concern?
Yeah, I mean, I still don't necessarily like multi-year commitments, because I know if like you're asking me to take a a leap of faith, right? That everything you're saying you can actually do. So that's my concern.
Okay, to alleviate your concern a little bit, over 73% of the Fortune 500 are recurring Gartner users. So what we do is working. They would not continue to sign on with us and be the most successful companies in the world if they weren't seeing that return on their investment. I also actually just got a testimonial from one of our past clients, and she is in a similar industry as you. She was able to save over $28 million in her first 5 years from the contract review service alone. So I can forward that to you later, but just so you can see that this isn't going to be a single solution to you. I'm going to help you grow long term.
Okay.
Does $28 million make you feel good?
Yeah, if it can apply to our organization, then certainly.
Absolutely. That's a typical story. I see that happen a lot, but I just want to let you know that I'm not here to try to trick you into anything. I really want to help you grow and see you thrive. Bob seemed to see the value in it, and so I just hope that you can too. Mm-hmm. Hearing all of this, are you ready to begin this partnership today so we can begin making strides in cutting those costs?
No, I appreciate the ask, and I think that if you can let me think about this, let me talk to my CEO about the fact that I'm going to spend when he's asking me to cut, but hey, there's a reason.
Okay.
And I'm going to this event tomorrow, so I think I come back sometime next week. I'm not really sure about my schedule.
Okay.
So why don't you call me next week, and then we can have a follow-up meeting. And if he's okay with me taking the leap of faith, then we can talk.
Okay. I did believe at the beginning of the meeting that you mentioned you were the only decision maker. So has something changed there, or did I misunderstand?
No, I'm the I could make the decision, but
okay.
It's
what's holding you back?
The fact that I have to. I was asked to cut, and now I'm making an investment that I'm being told will help me cut. But I just feel like I should tell him that this is something that I'm going to do.
Okay. Do you personally see the value and endorse utilizing Gartner for your company?
Yeah, I think if you can do all these things, and the benchmark sounds interesting, then yeah.
Okay. So it's just a matter of you wanting to bring him in the conversation so that he feels secure as your new CEO in this decision.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else that I could show you today to make you feel comfortable to start earlier?
Did you have the industry averages and that benchmark already?
So no, I don't, because I'll have to get the information from you. So this will be once our partnership does begin. And I would be happy to have our first phone call early next week so we can really get a jump start and be ready even before Q2 starts off. Does that clarify your concern there?
Yeah. So you don't have it right now.
I don't.
But I could get it once we start.
Yes, once you start the partnership, our very first meeting, I would be happy to present the information for you so that we do not waste any time and can maximize this investment for you.
Okay, then call me early next week, and we can go from there.
Okay, how about if we have a meeting next week with both you and William? I'd love to bring him in if you're feeling a little uncertain that he'd be on board, and I can talk to you both. I'd be happy to demonstrate these same things. In fact, I have a folder with me. My business card is in here, so I would love it if you would share this information with William ahead of time. And then maybe on Monday, instead of just you and I having a phone conversation, the three of us could have a meeting in person so we can really jumpstart this.
Okay.
How does that sound?
It sounds good. I don't know his schedule.
Okay.
So why don't call me on Monday, and then we'll pick a time.
Okay.
Once I have his calendar in front of me.
Sure. How about you and I put down a time now, and then if it doesn't work for William, you can always call me or send me an email over the weekend and we can adjust. But do we want to tentatively plan on Monday at 9 a.m. for you and I for sure? And then we'll make sure that William can be there.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for your time today, Jean. Is there anything else that I should prepare for this meeting so that it's mostly as beneficial as possible for you and William?
No, I think you got it.
Okay, perfect. So I'll leave this for you. Once again, my business card is in there, and I look forward to meeting Monday at 9, and then if anything needs to adjust, just give me a ring and I'd be happy to accommodate that.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you.
Take a deep breath.
Thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
This has been a great experience.
I'm glad.
Yeah,
You're
definitely.
tough.
Thanks.
You won't let me out of here.
Gotta go for the close.
Yeah, no, you did a really nice job.
Thank
you should be really proud of yourself.
I appreciate it. Yeah, you can keep that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
You have more of these? You don't need it?
Yes, I have lots. I've had one for every round, so you're good.
It's a nice folder.
Thank you. Yeah, I was like, I gotta have something, get my Gartner blue. I was an intern last summer, so.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Are you coming to work for us?
So I'm actually a junior, so I'm
Okay.
doing an internship for General Motors this summer to just sort of see a totally different side of the industry, and then Eric Whitner has been my recruiter, so we're keeping in contact, and we'll see full time where I end up doing. But I've been so impressed with Gartner. This whole week's been fabulous. So
wonderful. Well, I'll give you my card.
Thanks,
if you have any questions, if there's things that I can help you with.
Thank you so much.
The fact that you're going this far as a junior, you should be really proud of yourself.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been great. Definitely a learning experience. But thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem. And I think I'm done.
Yeah, I think are your team going to Bolero tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. I'll see you there then.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Very impressive accomplishment.
Thank you so much for your time. Absolutely.
All done.